Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, October the 24th. We are now officially for reals 1 week out from Halloween. Stage 1 pretty easy. Go left, hug as hard left as you possibly can. Like, super hug the left. And as you can see, your tanks are going to drop in right around where mine are here. Be out of the range of the boom cannon, which is the important part. Might get hit by the sniper tower, but shouldn't be that big a deal. And worst case scenario, you can stun all three remaining defenses on the right hand side there with one shock. Going in stage 2, yes, there are a bunch of defenses, and yes, we're going balls to the wall right through the middle of them all. Flamethrowers, not a big deal. Machine guns, not a big deal. Rocket launcher, not a big deal. And I even flared on to the rocket launcher just to be like, you know what? If it is hitting you and it is hurting you, just go right after it and then switch to the HQ after. It's not going to hurt anyone. Stage 3. Okay. Ready? That's right. We're going left-hand side. So I threw a barrage to clear out the mines. Obviously, it did a little more than clear out the mines there. So the real effort of that barrage is to wipe the mines out. Taking out all the buildings, you can do that with your tanks. Just kind of flare them in between the two boom mines there, and they should naturally just start kind of beating up on the different buildings and whatnot, and eventually come to rest roughly in this area, where yes, you'll probably have a mortar firing at you, but in the grand scheme of things, a mortar firing at you, not a big deal. Moving on to 4, sorry. I can't make with the counting. The bad news is 4 is nasty today. There's 3 boom cannons, all of which need to go in order to make it safe for your tanks. So the first one, make sure you do, or first 2 that I've done, I guess, technically, you're going to want to have at least 1 barrage on each of those, and then, like, if you use barrage or artillery after that, that's totally up to you, that's totally fine. But the important thing is at least 1 barrage on each of those cannons, because it takes out boom mines with the cannon, and we want to do that because boom mines are bad, okay? So I also went left-hand side here because my theory was it would give you a little more GBE for the blowing up of the various boom cannons, and as you can see, I'm kind of approaching here, and I'm not really in that big of an energy hole, if you would. Like, the energy that I've spent, I've been making back. Now, obviously, if you've got lower level artillery and barrage, you're going to have to use way more of them, and that's going to cost you way more energy, and, like, it's going to start sucking it down, but you know, at least it gives you a rough idea of where you're going and what you're going to want to do, and how to blow things up, so that we can move on to stage 5. I'm starting to think, actually, stage 4, maybe I like, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, stage 4 was, like, pretty low level, it's really easy to do that. Maybe, like, it is a higher, I guess, player level that is normally doing 4 than what I have in my head. Because every time I see 4, with the very rare occasion where I'm like, oh wow, yeah, 4 is wicked easy today, awesome. Every other time I'm just like, oh, how do they expect someone to do this? This is crazy. But regardless, stage 5, go right hand side. No boom cannons or shock launchers on 5, which means that 5 might be a little bit easier. I don't know. They're like, don't get me wrong, there are some high level defenses, and they have a pretty decent boost, like 102%, so like double hit points, if you would, and with like all of the level 22 sniper towers and whatnot, obviously it's going to take a while to work your way through there, and if you do finally end up on the HQ, kind of like this, shooting away, the HQ has quite a few hit points also, but compared to like other 5s that we've done, this seems pretty doable. Like, if you can get past 4, you can, and you have the DPS to spare, you can pull it off. And if you are low on DPS and you are going to be sitting shooting at this HQ for like 2 minutes solid just to be able to burn it down, just flare your troops up onto this lead sniper tower here, assuming you've got tanks, obviously. If you are using like heavy Zooka, take out both sniper towers, but as you can see with the tanks, by taking out that one sniper tower, they can all pull up right here, shoot away. The second further back sniper tower is actually out of range, so from here it's smooth sailing. Anyways, that's how to take down 5. You will get loot, and we will move on to 6. And 6 today also, really not that bad. Comparatively. Like, the landing is rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. The landing is very rough. So you're gonna want to take out the boom cannon on the beach and the shock launcher that's, I guess, in from the beach a little bit. Bang and bang. Right there. Yep. And then drop a layer of tanks and then a layer of non-tanks behind it. And the reason for this is because everything is front-loaded. Now, the good news is one shock can bung up most of that beach landing. So one shock, like obviously reshock it, will make reshocking the defenses that are left will make life a little bit easier. But one shock can take out a block of like 8 defenses all at once, which is key to this landing, because if you can survive the landing, if you can get to basically this far, you've already won the level. Honestly, even if you've lost tanks and like things have gone crazy and there's all kinds of insanity going on, if you can make it to this point in the attack, you've already won. Because from here on out, it's like a couple of flamethrowers and machine guns and mortars and like, yeah, okay, there's a few sniper towers, but easy peasy, especially compared to that landing. Now, obviously I want right hand side. The reason for that is you'll see the boom cannon in the back there. If you go right hand side, you can just straight up outrange that boom cannon. You don't even have to worry about it. Your tanks are going to go up. They're going to start shooting away at the HQ. And if they're anything like mine, a couple of them are going to decide, oh hey, let's go after mortars for no reason whatsoever. But that's okay, because even pulling forward to shoot at the mortars that don't even really need to be attacked, they're still out of range of the boom cannon. So, hey, smile, dance, and take it, because a nice, easy stage 6 like this doesn't come along every day. And like I said, yes, the landing is hairy, so you just, like, pour all of your GBE, pour everything you have into getting through that landing, because after the landing, you're not going to need a whole lot. Moving on to stage 7, stage 7 is nasty. It's way hard. Like, it doesn't even look that hard, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is totally doable. This shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. Oh, whatever. Yeah, maybe I could be wrong. So, obviously, rocking the smoke landing. The reason for the smoke landing being that ridiculously high level shock launcher that is right there launching shocks at my tanks. It is a good solid 37,000 hit points to take that thing out, which is just absolutely brutal, because right behind it is an insane boom cannon which does horrible things to everything it gets near. And I kind of screwed up here with this attack. As you can see, my poor medics are just getting shocked to shoot. And are just kind of left hanging out there, which means all of my poor tanks just started getting ruined because no one's there to heal them. And, you know, part of the whole Tmed strategy is to have the meds back up the Ts. And when there's no meds, it doesn't work out so good. So anyways, going right-hand side, kind of curving around. I should have actually thrown those critters a wee bit earlier just to take out the last boom cannon that we're going to have to worry about, and the mortar. And then I let the tanks actually drift south a little bit because I wanted them to blow up the regular cannon there, because that cannon, if you're not careful, has range on... Wow, has range on your tanks while they're taking on the HQ. The only problem with that is I was so low on GVE, I actually had to leave them down there to blow up stuff to the point where I had enough energy to flare everything back up to the top. Now the good news is, once I got everything up at the top and the medics were able to kind of focus on all their healing into one area, my tanks actually started to come back and like the health bars started to refill. Unfortunately, they got their butts handed to them before we got to that point in the attack, so it came out pretty painful and expensive. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been entertaining. And most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.